Oh, Lord have mercy. The Kraken has returned. I'll bend over if you're into that. Just please, for the love of God, save us. Ooh. Oh, that ain't good. Basically, if his baby mama don't make it, World War IV is gonna happen. We skipping a world war, we're jumping right to the big one. I am genuinely so concerned for future anime if what Clevatess episode 4 just revealed is as good as I think it will be. I'm not sure if there's gonna be an anime anytime soon that's gonna scratch an itch quite like this one, because this is some generational level anime and I am completely here for it. Make sure you drop a like, share your support, subscribe. If you're new around here, and Patreon is of course where you'll catch my full live reactions and exclusives. So here's the thing. I've seen no one say otherwise, and I think this is probably a pretty common thought. After seeing our girl, Alicia, get revived, we got essentially a dark god who can make followers, right? So, as shocking as it was to me, and I'm not saying this as an insult or like passive aggressive, but there was genuinely a lot of people, which surprised me, that thought Nell died last week. Which was weird to me because we saw her when she got coughed up by the beast. She was moving. Granted, maybe people just thought that was like the dead body reaction, you know, once you're fully stiff, sometimes, you know, there's just some reactions, some twitches. Which, hey, fair. But even if that was the case, we've already seen people get brought back. There was no reason to assume she wasn't going to get brought back. Even ignoring the fact that there's posters and images of what Nell would look like, you know, all healed up. So it was going to happen. You know, there was just too much pointing to that. But the thing is I had no idea. Maybe they mentioned it before. Maybe I'm forgetting. But hey, that forgetfulness made for one hell of a surprise, potentially. The idea that he can only have one active at a time. So if he was to, like, use that dark energy, that dark magic to save her, she can't be active. And the best part, too, is the way they imply it is that had it been any longer, he wouldn't have been able to return and revive Alicia again. Because the way it basically worked is that she was dying, she needed some magical surgery. And the only way to do it is with that kind of dark aura, right? So in order to use that, gotta drop our current husk and do some surgery, some mixed magic bullshit. And in doing so, we can heal her. Now, she's not a dead body being reanimated. She's a living person that was being used with that dark magic in order to do surgery. So once you no longer need to do that, you can just put your full focus, your puppeteer magic on the girl who actually died. But had she actually died, he would have had to choose. And seemingly he would have chose the mother, because at the end of the day, he literally says in this episode, if she dies, he would give up on humanity and everyone would suffer. And if we remember, old Clen basically started this off by saying, I like you because you got knockers and can feed the baby. So he was ready to cause world war over his big titty mama. And honestly, I respect the hustle. Either way, I was okay with the idea that the concept of things not necessarily staying dead is fine because we're dealing with a dark god entity who mostly doesn't want to save people. He's indifferent to a lot of people, but who he truly is like, I will support, is going to be a very small group of people. So I thought it would be okay, even though I thought he could always save whoever he wants. But if we're under the assumption that it can only be a singular person with that dark magic activated, that means if someone is dying and he has to do surgery, we gotta drop the body, and if the body gets too zombified, essentially the corpse starts rotting away, he won't be able to return and revive her either. So that's a really good elements of stakes, and I think clears up the only thing that might have been considered an issue in this show. And even then I was okay with it. It's just that people would have really like doubled down on, isn't this an issue? Isn't this like a lack of stakes? I could probably only argue against it for so long before I'd be like, maybe, but I just simply don't care because it's such a fun show. But as good as that stuff is, what really sells me on it is not only just all that content and how he wanted to save her and, you know, his feelings about humanity and stuff. The action and the environmental storytelling is just next level. I forget when it was either episode 1 or 2. I mentioned how this show reminds me of my favorite animation production, Angel's Egg, which is an old film, which is fantastic. It's nearly silent, but the way the world looks in this hellscape environment is very similar to how a lot of the creatures and the environments in this show looks. And that underwater sequence with this kraken, squid, octopus beast felt like it was pulled straight from Angel's Egg. And it scratched something in my brain that hasn't been scratched since literally watching that movie for the first time. I'm not even exaggerating. This show and Original Sin have kind of been the two series that have been fighting for anime of the season for me. But I ain't gonna lie, after this episode, I'm not gonna be surprised if old Clevatess is my anime of the season. I like it that much. And to be honest, as sad as I am that it's only 12 episodes, given the level of production quality I'm seeing from this, it's probably a good thing it wasn't 24 episodes, because I have a hard time believing if creatures like these are gonna continuously pop up in this world, that they wouldn't have eventually turned 3D. And I'm not really a 3D hater. Most of the time, 3D, I'm like, yeah, it looks pretty good. But you can't deny the level of attention that's put into, like, the fact that everything in that water was 2D. There was not an ounce of 3D beast in sight. And this looked like a movie. Like, it's just that good. And the characters, too. It's not just like, oh, this is just some great looking production. No, like, the whole dynamic of wanting to save this kid. And to see a beast that had no interest in humanity wanting to save her. And this woman who is a hero, top to bottom, being like, no matter what, we have to save her. Bartering with the worst man known to existence so far. I mean, I'm sure he'll be topped over time. But as it stands, this little fat bitch was a very horrible person. And the idea that he's like, you know what? You're going to have to give me 13 swords if you want me to give this baby up, because she got magical badassery. Didn't really work out for him. Little bitch got skewered, and rightfully so. I don't know where exactly they're gonna go with this show. Now that we have, okay, we got the big man in charge, we got the wet nurse, and we got the protector, the sword, who can do a lot of the dirty work, and of course, baby Dearest. It will be very interesting to see not only this beast learn more, but also a girl who's known nothing but a very shitty life, not only being able to speak properly now that she has all her teeth again, but like what her life could have looked like not being beaten down. And those who try to do it to her clearly are going to catch the fist of Satan's abomination, and I'm very much here for it. I said it episode 2 or 3 whenever we first got introduced to Nell. I thought it was brilliant that they made her conventionally unattractive, because all the bad shit that happened to her made us actually empathize with her, not because she was some sex object that we were glorifying and, oh, look how hot she is, that's why we feel bad. No, like, there are gonna be some people who like the way she looked naturally to begin with, even with her busted up face opinions, but she was not designed to be conventionally attractive to the masses. I knew what she was gonna look like later. I've seen posters and stuff, like, you look at Mao as an example, like, you see what her character looks like. But that doesn't change the fact that her intro was designed to make you care about her, not for her looks. So now seeing her in a more conventionally attractive way, you're happy because now she gets to exist and learn the beauties of the world, now that she's no longer some disfigured, abused monster. Like, that's how she was treated. And that's great storytelling. You let me know your thoughts down below. Drop a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, and you know Patreon's where you're going to catch full live reactions and exclusives like, hey, I give video shoutouts to all of my patrons. So today we got DJ Samuel, Taco Tuesday, Benjamin Henderson, X Nico, and we got Nugsio. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and y'all have a good one.